Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Monday edition of the JP Peterson Show after an incredible weekend of football, people lining up for gas, putting guns in their faces in Tampa. I mean, nobody has power. Very few people had power through the weekend. It has been an absolute debacle in the Tampa Bay area for most of the weekend. But man, did our teams do their best to put a smile on our faces this past weekend, with the exception of USF, and we'll give them a pass, and UCF. But there's so much more positive things to talk about on this incredible weekend. We thank you so much for joining us. However you are joining us, on your phone, if you have power, whatever, we really, really appreciate it. Hopefully we can distract you for a little bit of this time and put a smile on your face and have a little bit of fun this morning talking sports. Nick Geddes, I know you've had a hell of a weekend. No power for you. You finally got your power back. How are you and the family doing?
Yeah, we're doing good. My mom actually in Apollo Beach was surprised. She never lost power, which was, again, very surprising. We lost power in Lithia the night of the storm. We got it back sometime on Friday. So we're mostly fortunate over here. But yesterday, tell you what, we got up in the morning and drove to Tampa because I wanted to just like survey everything. Tampa is like I don't want to say war zone, but like
it's bad.
It's just like so eerie out there. I didn't realize like there's like no power like anywhere that I drove through in Tampa yesterday. There's nothing open. There's no gas. There was hardly actually anybody on the streets. Like Tampa was an interesting place when I drove through it yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of a ghost town because so many people have left because they don't have power. Most of them are over towards Orlando, filling up the hotels in Orlando, and have been for most of the weekend. And it's just, it's tough on a lot of people. I had people reaching out to me, saying, hey, can we publicize this? We don't see any Tico trucks in Tampa, in South Tampa. Where are all the trucks? And, other people chiming in on Facebook saying, no, there are trucks over here. There are trucks over there. People are just frustrated. They're just frustrated. They can't get their power on. I get it. It's tough.
I don't think they can keep the linemen like gassed up and everything.
No,
and that's a big problem.
Yeah, fuel trucks for the linemen. I saw pictures of some of them sleeping in the back of their trucks. I mean, they're doing everything they possibly can, and people are just frustrated, and I get it. And I think we'll find out after the storm what the issues were. But I would say with most assuredness that they are working their asses off. Our state leaders are working their asses off to get everything done. It's a tough time for everybody. And, that's why what happened yesterday in New Orleans was such a buoy for so many people. We got the Tampa hat on today. You got the 813. We include St. Petersburg and Pasco County and Sarasota and Bradenton, the entire Tampa Bay area, and all of this because y'all been going through it. When we say Tampa, we mean Tampa Bay. And when we say Tampa strong, we mean Tampa Bay strong. It's for everybody. And what the Bucks did yesterday and what the Lightning did on Friday night, don't want to forget that at all. A huge 4-1 win. And man, did they play some great hockey. That was like old time Lightning stuff, watching them play with Vasilevsky just standing on his head at times. But Kucherov doing his thing and the power play. And that was fun to watch. And I think that really helped a lot for those who could see it on ESPN. You had to wade through ESPN Plus if you had any power at all. I'm not sure how many people saw that game at all. I got to watch the whole damn thing, and they played great hockey. It was fun to see. But what happened yesterday in New Orleans is really just otherworldly, really. And what was interesting about the game, Nick, was, how it took on an analogy for what Tampa Bay was going through, right? It was, we had some great times, in Tampa Bay for a long, long time, and things were fantastic with all our sports team and everything. And then, it's gone a little south lately. And then, this week in particular, this month in particular, with Helene just pouring, just 4 feet of water into people's homes. If that was the first shot across the bow. And then here comes Milton taking out the power for everybody. And just like the Bucks, I mean, they jumped out to a great start, 17-0, and then a second quarter that was like, here comes Helene, here comes Milton, the 3 interceptions, a punt return for a touchdown where nobody touched the punt returner. I've never seen anything like it. And you're like, you're down. Oh my God, how could we be down in this game? How could we be down in this game? But the resilience of this football team, really echoing the resilience of our city and our region. Chris Godwin taking a check down pass and just saying, you know what? You're not stopping me until I get to the end zone and we take the lead. And when we're not looking back, I'm breaking 3 tackles. You're not catching me. Here we go. And by the end of the day, it was this incredible comeback. And then in the 51-27 beatdown, 594 yards of offense, a franchise record. Never before has a Tampa Bay team put up 594 yards of offense, 277 yards rushing. 277 yards rushing without Rachaad White, which may be part of the reason. Incredible. Sean Tucker going for 136, 172 total yards for him, for a guy who's been a bit player, but is finally, he's got his heart right. and what do you know? His heart was in this game big time, as it was for every Tampa Bay Buccaneer player. 3 turnovers and 12 penalties. You don't win games like that, let alone rout somebody 51-27. That's how good this football team is. It has answers for everything you throw at them. It has resiliency that most teams in that situation, with all that's happened this week, they needed 3 planes, 16 buses, 3 hotels just to fit the traveling party into New Orleans. They had to stay overnight. They've been there all week, not knowing if their houses are flooded. But the Glazers did an amazing job, sparing no expense, and I mean no expense, to keep the players focused on football, taking care of their families. I mean, that black card got a workout, I guarantee it. I don't even know what the number is on their monthly charges for this month. To move that many people and put them up in that many hotels, I have no idea. It certainly is in the millions of dollars. And they didn't bat an eye. They just did it. In addition to giving $1 million to the Hurricane Fund, and the players giving more and more. And it was so impressive to see the way they played with that type of resilience in the wake of all these distractions, incredible distractions. So one of the players came home and has 5 feet of water in their home. I mean, they're going to put them up in an apartment, take care of the whole family. I mean, this is dare I say, a watershed moment for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a performance that will go down in the history books, certainly by the number of yards. It's a record, a franchise record for the biggest output of yards in a game. But not only will it go down for that and a big divisional win, but it will go down for the juxtaposition of when it happened and how it happened. And I just think it's incredibly analogous to what this freaking city and region is going through right now. They got hit with a couple of haymakers in that second quarter. We got hit with a couple of haymakers with Helene and Uncle Milty. And in the end, the Bucs come out with a record-setting win against your rival, by the way. That had to be
made it even more sweet.
A little 50. Taste that 50 burger, Saints fans.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into all the details of the game, but this overarching theme of resilience and comeback buoys the city, and the way they celebrated it in the locker room. And I think you have that sound, right, Nick? Bowls in the locker room. Do you have that?
I'll get it for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get it here in a second.
The Bucks put out the post game celebration. I mean, when have you ever seen a director of senior director of ops, not for football, Tim Jarocki, gets a game ball? When the guy who reserves your hotel rooms gets a game ball, that's that's a different week, man. That is a different week, and he deserved one. One. The Glazers got the game ball.
I'll play the locker room audio.
Yeah, this is cool. Check this out.
Hey, that was a hell of a job all week. Okay, not just today, all week. Adversity stood us in the face. As a family, we stood up. We went through it. We came out today. We played a hell of a ball game. Now, there's a lot of people involved in that from a game ball standpoint. Tim Jarocki, where you at? Yeah! Tim has got a game ball coming. The next game ball came to the people that got you and your families out safe, took care of you the whole weekend. They do everything with humility. They do it with the city. They do it with the team. The entire Glazer family gets a game ball. Last but not least, we will have a special game ball for the city of Tampa when we get back. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Now let's get
Hey, that's a hell of a team win, like Coach said, all week. Didn't matter. All the distractions, everything we went through. That's a hell of a way to find a team win right there, man. Tampa strong on three. 1, 2, 3. Tampa strong.
Man, it gets you a little choked up, doesn't it?
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
That's awesome. These guys get it. The players get it. The owners get it. How can you not love this team? How can you not root for this team? I'm watching Twitter, Bucks Twitter at halftime, and half the people have Todd Bowles fired.
Well,
people were tweeting at me. I'm like, okay, there have been some missteps. Let's wait to see how this turns out. Okay, no question. And we'll get into it. Just because you overcame a lot of adversity doesn't mean you should be using your timeouts better in the first half. I mean, my Lord, how many times are we going to have to talk about this? But there's so many more positives that you feel guilty talking about the negatives, right? But we'll do it.
I'm going to talk about some of the negatives. Don't get me wrong.
We'll do it. But
at
least for the first 10 minutes or 20 minutes, we want to praise this team and this city and for what people are going through, and our first responders, our linemen, the Tico people. I know people are mad at them. They're doing their best. There may have been some shenanigans going on. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But right now, we're going to celebrate a win and really, give an attaboy to this team and this organization. What are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, we needed that. We absolutely needed that as a community, and that's why sports is the great distraction. It's the great unifier, and the Bucks went out there. And again, the fact that you were going against your rival too, it just made it all that more sweeter. It really did. And I keep going back to the remember the Cam Jordan quote after Tom Brady left, and he said, "Well, the Bucks are just going to go right back to being the Bucks." And
I saw that again. For some reason, it came up on my feed this week, and I guess somebody resurrected it.
It popped up again yesterday. I don't know, but I'm just trying to think. I'm like, since then, I think the Bucks have thoroughly dominated the Bucks have thoroughly dominated the Saints in the Todd Bowles era.
Yeah, they have.
Some of the shortcomings
5-1
against the Saints in the Todd Bowles era. That's impressive work, obviously. So Listen, I think this sums it up right here. Yesterday from Trevor Sikkema, he put this on Twitter right there. Chris Godwin, the team, the city.
Yeah.
He's carrying both of them,
Yeah.
AKA the Rod God. Chris
Yes.
Godwin, man. I mean, there's so much praise to go around with certain players, but I really wanted to start with him because we talked a lot in the offseason about Chris Godwin and a contract year hasn't been as effective since the ACL injury. And man, now that he's 3 years removed from that ACL tear against New Orleans in 2021, Chris Godwin looks better than ever. I think this version of Chris Godwin's even better than like the 2019 version and the 2018 version that we saw with Jameis. To me, this is the most he is literally the best receiver in football today. Like, go look at all the numbers, check out. Chris Godwin right now has been the best receiver.
Saying this?
He's just,
and you get a top 20 list, he's not even on it. On anybody's top 20
I mean,
national list.
He's certainly playing like the Cooper Kupp do-it-all role in this offense this year, which we were hopefully looking forward to. And yesterday it was so impressive because, Mike Evans, let's be honest. Mike looks like he's playing through something. Okay.
Yeah,
and Mike's a warrior. Mike's a warrior, by the way. He came out of the game a little bit, but he went back in there. He tried to tough it out. You're relying on.
He was getting the double team. He didn't want to come off the field because he was making it easy for everybody else.
I just look at yesterday in the passing game. So you basically, Mike was barely involved. Sterling Shepard got involved a little bit. He had some moments that we'll talk about. Jalen McMillan right now looks like he has no idea what he's doing out there.
That's disappointing.
And Cade Otton is Cade Otton. So in the passing game, you really had so much going against you yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Miller is out there like running 40% of the snaps, and he made a great play, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
So you had so much going against you in the passing game, but Chris Godwin, every time the Bucs needed to play in the passing game, Chris Godwin breaking tackles, going crazy. Like, this dude is just so locked in.
Put on a Debo.
Yeah, he's just so locked in right now. And I'm like, man, I know we got a long ways to go into the offseason, but as it stands right now, I know he's making himself a lot of money, but I can't let this guy get out the door. I can't do it. He's too important.
Yeah, I don't care if you got you can't pay two receivers $20+ million. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely can. You can't let that guy go. You got to find the money. I don't care what he's just a game changer. He's a game changer, and he's an attitude maker. He's a culture solidifier. He's everything you want in a player. And I was just watching, you look at these standouts on this team yesterday. Sean Tucker, undrafted free agent. Bucky Irving, 5th round. Zion McCullum, 5th round. Chris Godwin, 3rd round. Tyke Smith, 3rd round. I mean, Yaya Diaby, 3rd round. I mean, they're actually their first rounders are the most disappointing in a lot of ways. Graham Barton wasn't out there yesterday. An attaboy for Rob Hainsey.
Rob Hainsey, man.
I mean, he got beat a couple times. I mean,
but
he wasn't perfect. But
I remember the conversation that you had with Jason in the offseason, and he talked a lot about Bob Hainsey and how big of a help he's been.
Yeah.
To Graham Barton, he got his opportunity.
He needs to play.
If you want to get all the big, because Bredesen did not play particularly well.
No, he did not. That's what I was saying. And people are like, well, let's move Graham Barton to left guard. No, Graham Barton is a center for 12 years in this league, 15 years. He's going to retire. If he stays healthy, that kid's going to be a Pro Bowler. Don't F with that. It's too important of a spot. Let him go be the center. Okay. But Rob Hainsey, left guard. Okay. Yeah. He needs to play. He needs to, he's a good player. But that'll take care of itself. The offensive line did a hell of a job. Paving the way for 277 yards rushing. And we got to ask the question, is this Rachaad White vis-a-vis Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving just being so much better and quicker to the hole?
Well, I do think I haven't seen I don't know. Have you rewatched the game yet? Have you had
I watched the first half. I did the first half.
It seemed like from what I was seeing, like some of the run calls and the schemes that they deployed in this game, in the run game, like it felt like it looked a little different maybe.
Yeah.
Than it's looked the last few weeks. And I want to think if Rachaad was in there, he probably could have had a similar impact. But when you just break them down, and Sean Tucker in particular, to me, hats off to that dude, especially late in the game, where you knew that the Bucs were going to do nothing but run the football, and he just kept picking up chunk after chunk after chunk. He gets the ball, like you said, he just hits the hole. He gets up to full speed
He's
really
got a
quick.
burst, man. He's got a burst.
I think he's like the most like athletic. In a way, he's almost like the most athletic running back the Bucs have in the way he runs the football. Like he was just a do-it-all yesterday. He shows it off too in the passing game with the 40-yard touchdown where he shows his breakaway speed. Like
that was a hell of a run.
It's a hell of a run. Like he did everything yesterday. Like, and as Baker said after the game, it's like that wasn't just next man up. Like that was having one of the best performances of any player all week in the NFL.
Yeah. And it's not just scheme, because I can see it. They're breaking tackles, they're making cuts. I mean, how about that 31-yard run by Bucky Irving? And there was a stiff arm in there that embarrassed somebody. There was a lot of embarrassment of Saints yesterday. I mean, they do not want to look at that film.
They got their ass.
I heard people say, "Oh, it was terrible tackling." I'm like, sometimes it's just really good running too, you know. And listen, if you're coming in just trying to slap the ball out of Chris Godwin's hand and that's your tackle, and meanwhile, you know, the other guy's just trying to knock him out and not wrap up, he's running through both you guys, which is exactly
that's
what
that's on you. That's on you. We know how Chris, whenever he like takes on defenders, he usually does a really good job of like tucking that ball inside like this. And he almost like makes himself small through the tackles. Like we know Chris does that. And by the way, that was also really impressive from what I saw from Sean Tucker in this game. Even when he got through, when there was like not a lot of room, he did a really good job of making himself skinny through the holes. So like, just again, they added so much, and 277 yards on the ground. I think I saw that's the second most the Bucs have ever run for in a game.
Yeah,
I believe. Like, did not have that on my bingo card today. I literally said yesterday on Twitter, I could have shed a tear watching the Bucs run the way they did yesterday in that second half, especially knowing that the Saints knew it was coming and they had no answer. And I think eventually later in that game, you made New Orleans give up. You made New Orleans quit. You took it to them that bad. 50 burger in New Orleans. I mean, it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Let's play a little bit of sound, shall we here? Let's start right at the top from Todd Bowles on winning this one for the city.
Give me a second. I arrived in late today, so I got to pull it up real quick.
That's cool. There's really good sound we want to get to, because this is, so much, for the city, about the city, and the players are just very cognizant of that. Very, very cognizant of that. And how could they not be? But, it's still, it's great to hear it. It's great to watch it. And you can see the sincerity in their voices or hear that. All right. Hit it when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here now. Let's play Mr. Todd. All right, this was him talking about the impact that this game had on the city here.
It's a tiny break from what they've been dealing with, but we gave them a chance to smile for a couple of hours, and while everybody went through what they went through, that was all worth it right there. And I tell the guys all the time, we talk about family as a team. As long as your family's safe, all the other things are replaceable, and we're going to do everything we can to try to take care of ourselves, our team, and helping the community.
Yeah, you hear him talk about the family, and we've said this from the very beginning with Camp Kumbaya, right? What does it mean? Well, so what? Culture. Culture is when you're winning, it's good culture. When you're losing, no. Culture precedes winning. Creating a winning culture precedes the winning, and then the winning comes after. It's what they talk about, the process. It's the process, not focusing on outcome, focusing on process. How does having great chemistry and liking each other win games? This is it. This is the ultimate manifestation of good culture, overcoming adversity within a game, within a week. You had to be with each other all week long. You think the Cowboys could be with each other all week long? Do you? I mean, look at some of the dysfunctional teams throughout this league. You think they could be hanging out in a hotel all week long with their families and their dogs and all that? No.
I was going to say, you want to know the two teams that like their locker room just sticks out to me. Like you can tell these guys are having fun. It's the Bucs and the Lions.
Yeah.
It's the Bucs and the Lions.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe we'll touch on the rest of the NFL, but look at that Lions game yesterday. You think they were having fun? I mean, we're lining out Dan Skipper out wide. We're doing hooking ladders to Panay Sewell. Like, first of all, I admire
that callback was the travesty of the entire weekend.
So travesty.
That's
I hate
travesty.
officials. I hate officials.
God,
but
man
no.
downfield.
First of all, I admire Dan Campbell for the fact that he hated the Dallas Cowboys so much that he was going to just put a freaking foot in their ass yesterday.
Brady was laughing on the broadcast. He's like,
was
Ben
great.
Johnson, why don't you save some of these for when you need them? He's like, clearly, he was like, no, we're just going to destroy the Cowboys on national TV.
Listen, Ben Johnson could have been in hell in Carolina like Canales, but instead he gets to line up Dan Skipper out wide in a 47-9 blowout. So Ben Johnson's the smartest dude in the league. But I digress. But that shows you the Lions are having fun. They're playing stress-free, and they're a damn good football team. And I get the same feeling from the Bucs right now.
Culture, togetherness, a coach that's no nonsense. They are very similar and explosive offenses too. And by the way, the Bucs have a W over them.
Look at the Bucs, by the way. In terms of offense now after that game, they are now number 2. They're tied for second with the Commanders for 29.7 points per game. The only team that's more than them is the Lions at 30.2. And the Bucs played both the Lions and the Commanders and held them to 36 combined points. So the Bucs offense, man, as far as I see, I think it's the best in the league right now.
Yeah, and as they get healthy,
and they should have scored 70 yesterday, JP. They should have scored 70. If they don't get in their own way, the Bucs are putting up historic numbers yesterday.
Yeah, and Baker had 3 picks, but come on, 2 of those were not on him. And that's the thing, though. He didn't stop chucking it. He didn't stop, although the running game was working so well. He
only threw 6 passes in the second half.
Yeah, you didn't need to throw that much, but that's fine. When you're eating up chunks of yardage like that, and those passes went for big yards and big yak. So, great game call by Liam Cohen. I mean, he really, really gets it. We said this from the very beginning. This is going to be different. This is going to be better. This is not Dave Canales. God bless him. We loved him, but there were a lot of issues with that offense. This one, I told you it would be at least 4 or 5 points better this year, and I was wrong. It's 8-9 points better this year on average.
It just seems like they have an answer for everything. Like I never feel like the Bucs. I know the Denver
now
game
that they have a run game. Now that they have a run game, how you stop them?
That's what I'm saying. I know that the Denver game got away from them, but in the most part, I don't feel like the Bucs are truly out of a game. It's and the way they've passed it on certain situations, I don't think teams can defend them now the way you want to, and that's helping the run game get going. And of course, as we mentioned already early today, the performance of Tucker and Bucky, Tuck and Buck, if you will. I mean, did you see that yesterday? We've already coined this. This is Tuck and Buck. Tuck and Buck.
I love it.
Or Buck and Tuck, whichever one. I love it.
I think you got to go Buck and Tuck, don't you?
I like Buck and Tuck.
Sounds better, though.
I think it is Buck and Tuck. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Bucs fans who came up with that.
That's nice. That's nice. All right, let's get to some of the comments. Good morning, Nathan Elliott, to you. Great stuff, as always, from you. Jeremy Lowe says, good morning, fellas. Big win for the city of Tampa. Putting up 51 on the Saints is a real treat. I mean, how could you put a smile on everybody's faces any better than that? Morning, everybody. Happy victory money. Hello to all you JP Peterson Show listeners and viewers. Thank you, Nathan Elliott. We love you, brother. Bucks basement. I hope everyone is safe. I was very impressed with the team yesterday, but my God, Todd Bowles' time management in the first half, final minutes was absolutely atrocious. I don't know what to say about that at this point. I'm sitting there looking at the clock tick down. I'm looking at the damn timeouts. First of all, as the Saints had the ball, call the damn timeouts. But they had 3 timeouts. That's the point. They're across midfield. It's 1:45 left in the half. They have 3 timeouts. Time is not going to be a factor for them. So you save time with your timeouts. And by the time they're done either scoring or whatever, you're going to have 1.5 I would say about 1:15 left. And I think they ended up with 46 seconds instead.
46 seconds.
Yeah. Should have had another 45 seconds, which is crucial in this situation.
Yeah. Even 46 seconds, it's still enough time to at least get in the field goal range.
Yeah. And you're just letting time run down and not even using your timeout. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's bizarre. You don't think about it much because you destroyed them in the second half, but you were down at that point. I mean, there's so much good that went on. You hate to be negative,
but I gotta be honest. But I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. And I said this yesterday on Twitter. After the first half of that game, Todd Bowles was really, really, I think, the guy that I circled yesterday. I'm like, okay, yes, there were some other things that went wrong on the field. Players got to play. We get that. But in terms of putting in your players in the best position to succeed, I thought Todd Bowles in the first half did a horrible job of that on defense. Because even in the first quarter, even though the scoreboard looked okay, I'm sorry, but the Saints, if it wasn't for Tyke Smith knocking the ball out and some of the Saints, imploding on themselves a little bit, the Saints were not having a problem moving the football through the air.
Nope.
Spencer Rattler, and especially in that second quarter, it's like they were just trying to rush 3 or rush 4 to nobody's surprise. If you've watched the Buccaneers, they were not getting home. Yeah. And it's like they were deploying the same game plan where they're afraid to give up anything over the top. And so all of a sudden you're seeing all these passes in that soft zone once again. Like, it was like, why is this the game plan? Why is this happening again? It's a rookie quarterback, a 5th round pick. He was 3rd on the depth chart before Tuesday of this week. Like, attack the dude, attack him. And they didn't do it. And then they get behind, and then I see the way Todd ended the half, taking timeouts into the half and not being aggressive. And I'm like, Todd Bowles is a 0 today. He's not offering you anything because you get up 17-0 on the road, and all of a sudden you're losing 27-24, whatever it was at halftime. And I'm looking at the defensive game plan like, what are you doing? But then in the second half, Todd gets credit for this.
Towards the end of the first half, he started with a little bit
all
more
of a sudden
exotic.
You saw a little bit more exotic blitzes and stuff like that. They started bringing Levante David in, who's been great as a blitzer this year. He's actually the Buccaneers' leading sack guy, if you can believe it right now.
Yeah,
like
and Tyke and Antoine Winfield coming off the corners. Very nice.
Yeah, like he picked it up in the second half, and they pitched a shutout. And Spencer Rattler went from looking like an all-pro to a rookie quarterback, 5th round pick, making his first career start against a Super Bowl defensive coordinator. It was that, and that was the game right there, because the offense obviously then did their thing, and it was off to the races. But yeah, for the first half of that game, I think Todd Bowles was driving everybody nuts over here in Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, you could say his team bailed him out.
A little bit.
The offense bailed him out. Yeah, I think you could say that. But you also have to give him credit for the overall preparation of the team. He gets credit for that as well. The culture of the team, that's on Todd Bowles. So much of that I give credit for the total outcome.
Yeah.
But these are worthy criticisms, and they are head scratchers.
They're worthy criticism because in games where it's like really close the entire way, like 11 days ago in Atlanta, you lose that game.
Yeah.
Because of some of these issues.
That's right.
So the Bucs, that's the thing that's frustrating a little bit. The Bucs are 4-2. That's awesome. The Bucs should be 5-1 right now.
Well,
it's the reality.
They should be 5-1, and then the one being you lost to Denver. And Denver's a good team, by the way. They've showed they're a decent football team. But you still shouldn't be losing to Bo Nix.
You should be 5-1 with wins against the Commanders, Lions, Falcons, Eagles, and freaking Saints on your resume. As you go into this now tough stretch right now. 4-2, we'll take it. But man, they're so close to being 5-1.
And if you don't play soft coverage against Bo Nix, maybe you're 6-0.
Right.
But I'll take 4-2.
We'll take 4-2, man. We'll take 4.
I'll take 4-2. And there's not. And as you look at this NFC right now, who's better?
Well, I think if you play the Lions, they did beat the Lions. I don't know if you can replicate what happened in that game again. Yeah. I think that one would be a bit different. And the Lions are firing on all cylinders right now.
But don't forget the Bucs.
They also just lost Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, they did. And that's huge. That is freaking
49ers
huge.
Seem like they're just a tick off right now, and they can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders, I think, fun, but
good story.
The Vikings are 5-0. They've been the best team in the NFC from a quality standpoint this year. So maybe maybe they're for real. I don't know. But to your point, the Packers, I don't think have looked as impressive as I thought they would be, even though they are 4-2.
Yeah, they're up and down.
So yeah, that's what I said. I think the Bucs are right there.
The Bucs are as good as
the best teams in the conference.
Yeah, I said early in the season, like, they're not going to win the Super Bowl because I thought the 49ers would be dominant. I thought the AFC teams would be dominant. The Chiefs are, they're not losing, but they don't look that great. They look eminently beatable, as do the Bills, as do everybody. Everybody's got warts, including the Buccaneers. But they're a part of the handful of teams that I think are elite in this league. And there's nobody that just stands out as unbeatable. I mean, certainly not Sam Darnold and the Vikings. I mean, come on. They're a good football team, but they're not all that. They're obviously there'll be some chinks in that armor. So yeah, I mean, as you sit here today, you're like, why not us? Why not us?
With the offense they have going right now?
Right.
I mean,
and where's the Super Bowl? In the Superdome.
It's in New Orleans, isn't it?
It is the place where we just put up 51 points. I mean, I'd never like to utter this phrase. I can't wait to get back to New Orleans. But in this case, and by the way, who's 46 there? I meant to look that number up. But anyway.
For who?
For the Saints, who dove at Yaya Diaby's knee.
Oh yeah, that was. I thought we had serious injury there for a second.
Total Saints dirty ass play. They're such a dirty team, and there's a bounty on guys like that.
Well, they took out Devontae Smith too 2 weeks ago in the Eagles game. Remember?
Yeah, they did. Mm-hmm. They're a dirty team, just like their city, and it's come on, Dennis Allen.
That was the fullback, Adam Prentice.
Yeah, just takes his knee and slams and takes dead aim at Yaya, his helmet, dead aim at his knee. That should be a disqualifying play. Throw them. If helmet to head is, you can get thrown out for that, or targeting, you should, when it's that obvious, you dive at somebody's knee with the crown of your helmet, you're out. You're done.
And guys would much rather, but they would tell you they'd rather get hit in the head than they would down there. I mean, both suck. Don't get me wrong, but.
Yeah, luckily he moved his knee at the last second and wasn't planted in the ground. Otherwise, he's out. That's a Chris Godwin destroyed knee. And how these players do this to other players, and they're all in the same union, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. This union needs to send a tape around and go, hey guys, let's start doing this to our fellow members. This is called a cheap shot. Stop doing it. But it always seems to be a guys in New Orleans.
Yeah, and you know what bothered me yesterday too? Before I know we got to hit our first break here, but last thing, what really bothered me was a lot of the penalties that were called on the Bucs. Like, I thought there were a lot of ticky-tack going on.
Oh, hell
and the Saints were holding the Bucs defensive line all day. I don't think they got called for one of them.
No.
Like, I'm not usually the guy that likes to say that there's favoritism in the calls, but even the calls, I know Sterling Shepard was getting a lot of heat from Bucs fans because everybody thinks, well, you're a veteran, you need to stay disciplined. This is a rivalry. People are jawing at each other all the time. I have no idea how Sterling Shepard got called for 3 penalties in this football game, because the first one, he's just jawing at a player. He didn't get in his face. They were kind of separated, and all of a sudden a ref throws a flag. That's not a flag in my opinion. And then Sterling Shepard also gets called for a block. That was a perfectly executed block that I saw nothing there. So everybody was banging on Sterling Shepard yesterday for you should be more disciplined. The refs were terrible. They were terrible.
Yeah. They luckily they got the Antoine Winfield Jr. scoop and score correct.
Oh my goodness! They should have had the second one. He should have had 2 knockouts. Tyke should have had 2.
I don't know how you pick that up. I mean, the guy takes 2.5 steps or 3 steps, I guess you could say, because there's his third step is as the ball's coming out. You catch the ball and you put it away. That's a football move. You're moving, and both of those I thought were fumbles, but so be it. All right, we got some great comments coming in. I want to get to them as soon as we get back. I want to get to all the sound that we have from the players. You'll hear from Baker, more from Bowles, from a bunch of other guys. We got tons of college football. We're going to get to the Gators. Thought Lagway played really, really well in crunch time. USF, I went to that game, boss man. I went to that game.
Oh, you were one of the 3,200?
I did, and we saw some things that were troubling. USF's, I think they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble, and we got lots to talk about with USF. College football in general, Ohio State going down, so much around the NFL. Where are the freaking Rays going to play? The Tampa Bay Lightning put on a tremendous performance. What's up for them this week? We got all the answers for you. What's coming up this week? So stay with us. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you have any issues with your insurance company, give them a call. Just contact them through the website, jeeveslawgroup.com, and tell them JP sent you. They'll help you with your insurance companies if you've been in an accident because of all this stuff, things going on with your cars, not getting the value for your cars, all those things. When you need an attorney, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the J.P. Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Get your nutrition right. Get your testosterone right. Boy, I've been reading so much about the toxins that are in our food. Get your nutrition right. That's something that Chris Lugo, he has a doctorate from the University of Florida in nutrition science. Clean up your diet for you. That makes a huge, huge difference. There are ways to get around a lot of the poison that's in our diets, and supplements as well. Keep yourself healthy. That's the whole idea of Bay Area Modern Medical Center. It's not just going to the doctor when you're sick. It's keeping you healthy so you don't get sick. BAMMC.com. Get your personal concierge medicine right there with Chris Lugo. Great idea.
Speaking of food real quick, before we get back to the sports, I just have to say, have you noticed, you probably didn't know it, maybe it as much where you live, but over here, I mean, is it crazy to you? I've already known this, but it just reaffirmed it when a natural disaster comes, how dependent people are on getting their food from eating out and fast food.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Sonic near me opened up. Sonic. Who goes to Sonic like in their normal like daily life unless you're in a pinch, you know?
Yeah.
And you should see the line that I'm seeing at Sonic and McDonald's and people at Dunkin', like waiting an hour or to get food. Like it's crazy. Like the way how nuts people went over here, like the last few days, just begging to get like I get it. I get it. Honestly, if you're out of power and everything, like I got it. Like you got to do what you got to do. But I feel like there were a lot of people like that were just doing it just because like they were bored or whatever. Or, like they're just like, I have to have a meal that's eaten out. Like it was just so odd, everything that I was seeing over here.
Well, nobody cooks anymore. Like everybody gets everything delivered, and it's not hard to cook or prepare food. I mean,
I'm like, did nobody plan?
That's
like
what I'm saying. And I hate to be like, not compassionate, but I see people all the time, like a day after the storm. Hey, I'm here with my 3 kids. We don't have any power and we don't have any food. I'm like, why do you not have any food? And by the way, scammers everywhere. Lieutenant Dan.
I didn't bring that crap up. But no, my general point, what I was saying about that is what people fail to understand is the establishments that opened up on Thursday, especially. I heard a lot of people over here where I live were getting like food poisoning, and they felt like crap after they ate the food. And it's like, yeah, because those people did lose power. You have no idea what they did with that food after they lost power, and now they're serving it. That was my general point.
Yeah,
it's like everybody was rushing to go eat something from somewhere else, and it's like, I don't trust that food.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a really good point. No, you've got to be, and I do feel sorry for people that don't have the money, and they're just living check to check, like 56% of Americans are, maybe higher now in the 60%. But I mean, there has to be some level of preparation. I mean, I was like, okay, what are we going to do for cooking? Okay, we got the Blackstone gassed up. I can cook anything on that Blackstone. We got, we got water in the bathtub, water in the washing machine. We got plenty of water, stacks and stacks of water, and we keep that. By the way, you live in Florida during hurricane season. Why are you waiting? Yeah. The water can sit in your garage for a long time. I know it's not great, but in an emergency, it's better than not having it. All right. All these things, so many of these things you can do way before, the craziness happens. And when, and it's like you're without power for a few days. Okay.
In general, JP, I lost a little faith in humanity this week from the things that I was seeing, especially the driving situation. I mean, you people suck at driving, all of you, because you can't just understand that with the lights out, it's a 4-way stop. Like,
I think we have a comment on that.
Craziest thing I've ever seen.
Where is that? One of our, here's, oh no, this is from Buck's Basement. He said, I'm staying away from driving for the most part because people have no idea what the rules are for a blinking red light. And I can't deal with the stupidity.
It's crazy.
Yes, you treat it like a 4-way stop. But this is what anarchy looks like.
Yeah, it literally was. It's been anarchy, and I'm like, I'm over it. When I went to the
power
UCF
grid
game
goes down, we are toast.
Literally, when I went to the UCF, I was in Orlando all day Saturday for the UCF game, and I was like, I've never been so happy to be in Orlando, Florida, in my life, because the things that you take for granted, like a working stoplight, something that was like, I needed it. And then immediately I drove back at night, and everything's pitch black around here, and it's insanity again.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of stories about, when the gas stations did open up, and I saw a video of it too, where there were fights going on, people pulling guns.
Police are literally guarding the damn things because people can't just pump their gas peacefully.
Yeah. When it gets down to it like that, you see the worst in people.
Yeah.
James said South Tampa really bad regarding power, but last night at like 10 p.m. I got the word power's back on in Swan and McDill area.
Nice.
Lots of old, large oak trees fell on power lines. It was real bad. Yeah, I know we lost a ton of. We lost 21 trees at Palmacia Golf Course, the country club there. There's in that whole area. It's all power lines, overground power lines with tons of trees right next to them.
I was concerned yesterday.
that.
Like I said, I drove around that area. And before, as he said, the power's back on now, but the power was not on yesterday morning. I looked around and I even thought, like, man, the Lightning, I know they couldn't play on Saturday. I'm like, can they even play tomorrow? Like, I haven't heard anything different, but I looked around and I was like, I don't even see anybody even here.
Yeah, they practiced there yesterday because they couldn't practice at the Brandon because there was no power there.
Oh, Brandon's really bad shape right now.
Yeah, there's some damage to Amalie Arena, but we're playing tomorrow night. That's the plan as of now. I know there's a lot of things that in terms of game preparation that we may not have for you guys, all our usual bells and whistles, but we're going to a rehearsal tonight, and then I'll be able to give you a little bit more information tomorrow morning. But game is on for tomorrow night, home opener. All the accoutrements, as far as we know, are going to be the same. The blue carpet walk, I believe, is still on, so I got to double check on that, and so double check on that stuff in the morning on the Lightning website.
And I believe too
I'll have the information for you on the show tomorrow.
I believe too they have discounted tickets for this game and the next two
home
games after.
upper level, $75 lower level seats. That's a great deal. So yeah, they're discounting that. They're giving away hundreds and thousands of tickets to line workers and power folks and first responders. I mean, this is what the Lightning does, right? This is what they do. Right. They trying to play on Saturday, but it was they couldn't get the first responders. Number one, they were obviously doing things with a much bigger priority. So that was number one. That's the reason the USF game was moved as well. The stadium is fine, as we told you on Friday. The stadium is fine. It's functional. Everything, they came through great, and they just didn't have first responders to staff it, and you got to have that for the stadium, obviously. So the USF game had to be moved to Camping World Stadium. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But for the Lightning, it's a go for tomorrow night as of now, and I'm pretty sure that's 95% sure we're going to have that game. So I wouldn't worry about it, but definitely check back in tomorrow. I'll have more information on the show because I'll be at Amalie tonight to see all that, see what's going on. So, and what a game by the Lightning on Friday night. Holy hell. I was watching the game early on and I'm saying, okay, it's disjointed. The first period had no flow. Oh my God. It was
it was like playing the Carolina Hurricanes. It's how those games always are.
Extremely choppy. Had some power play chances, not really good. Ugh. And then they get one, but Vassie made some incredible saves at the end of the first period. They had a few odd man rushes, point blank shots, and Vassie came up huge, big time. So it's 1-0 after the first. Then we get a Braden Point, beautiful feed on the power play in the slot. Braden Point scores. So we're tied at 1, and then Kucherov kind of took over. He gets a slapper on the power play. Great setup by Hedman. Beautiful shot. Then he gets a couple empty netters. They get the 4-1 win, and I thought they played tremendous 5-on-5 for the most part. I mean, it wasn't perfect. When they failed, Vassie was there to bail them out. It was that same kind of, prescription and formula and template that they used to win 2 Stanley Cups. And I liked it. I like what I saw. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be some rough patches, but for a first game to come out to do that with Carolina, that was a hell of a win.
Yeah, a couple things. I thought the first period, I think Cooper might actually worded it this way too. Like the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought the Lightning played exceptionally well. I think Carolina had like one shot for a while.
Yeah.
And they were really doing a good job of limiting them. And then just one sort of Brandon Hagel sort of going back with the puck there in his own zone, which, you can't do, a little lazy. And it ends up in the back of your net. Nothing Vasilevsky could do. Yeah. But from that moment on, I mean, the questions of Andre Vasilevsky, some people say, I mean, we know like the numbers haven't been what they were, but the injury, we already knew what that was. But this year, having a long time to rehab in the offseason and come into a season fully healthy, man, he was the reason why the Lightning won the game, and that was it. It was all him. I mean, listen, they scored 2 empty net goals. It was all Andrei Vasilevsky because there were honestly a lot of high danger chances in that game, especially off the stick of Andrei Svechnikov, who was scaring me for a while in that game. He had his best stuff. That line that Carolina was putting out there with Martinook and Carrier, they were causing a lot of trouble for the Lightning. I'll tell you right now, I don't think the Perbix-Lilleberg pairing is going to stick after what I saw in game one. Don't know if that's sticking necessarily.
But they got options. That's what's good.
They got options for sure, and they went 11-7 in the first game, and Shiri was the odd man out, but it sounds like he's drawing back in for this next game, so I'm sure there'll be some rotation there. But your big guns, I mean, Vasilevsky, Point, I mean, it's a hell of a play where he's getting hit as he shoots that, and he just puts it right underneath the bar. It's world-class stuff. Nikita Kucherov, just the most casual 4-point night that you're ever going to see out of a star player.
The score of the MVP snub is on.
Yeah, and I already saw a lot of people saying, look at Nikita Kucherov. He's hanging out. He's cherry picking he's just trying to get his points racked up. Like, shut up. He'll get 150 points however way he wants to.
Well, you know why? Well, if he's going to win the points battle again and get snubbed for the MVP, he's like, I'm going to put up so many numbers this year that you can't snub me. You can't. I'm going to be so far ahead of everybody else. Yeah, because I'm going to be hanging out at the red line. I'm going to be empty netting. I'm going to be doing everything I can to just put up points so you guys can't snub me again. So I don't blame him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Pick him up.
Yeah. And so, I mean, they got some things to clean up, but for game one to go into Carolina, all the stuff, we talked a lot about what the Bucks had to deal with. The Lightning had to deal with the same thing. A big win, 4-1 against a really good hockey team in a tough place to play. So,
yeah, most of the Lightning players' homes were completely flooded in Helene. So they've been dealing with this for about a month now. A lot of them have been displaced. So, and by the way, the city of Tampa, St. Petersburg, Pinellas, there's been a lot of mismanagement going on. A lot of, I'm hearing from a lot of different people. Now they're passing out notices in St. Pete, I believe it is, that make sure when you do your renovations, your drywall, if you have drywall repairs, if you're putting in new cabinets, you have to get permits for this stuff. Are we serious? Are we serious? We're going to try to make tons of money off this by hurting the people even more. We got to go down and get the permits, wait for the permits to be cleared. Are you freaking kidding me? We got to get rid of the red tape. Get rid of the red tape so people can get back in their houses and get their lives going. I mean, how long is this permitting process going to take? How much money is it going to take? If people have reduced their homes, as most of them have, down to studs, cleared out everything. Now they got to wait to get a permit to put their drywall in. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. That's got to be taken care of. I understand there's a process. There's insurance. I understand all that stuff. But they've got to figure out a way to bypass a lot of that or make it so simple that people aren't sitting around and waiting for permitting and paying tons of money for permitting. That seems crazy to me. There's so many of these topics that we're going to talk about as we go through this because a lot of places are not talking about them, and I think they need to be talked about. Let's get to some of the comments here. Thank you guys for jumping in. James says this, I hope Liam stays for more than 1 year. Yes.
Oh, I'm scared now. I'm scared about that now.
I mean, Dave Canales got a head coaching job.
I was going to say, Dave Canales got credit for turning Baker Mayfield's career around and got a head coaching job right away. And we're sitting here. Yeah, we're sitting here today. Baker Mayfield leads the NFL in touchdown passes and is number 2 in quarterback rating behind Joe Burrow. What's going to happen to Liam Cohen now after this?
Well, hopefully we can hold on to him some way. There were so many coaching changes at the end of last year. Maybe there won't be as many this year. And, looks like Bill Belichick's made everybody happy, so he'll get one. Which is crazy to me. But Buck's Basement says, JP, what do you think about they're going to do with Tropicana? Is Stu going to cheap out and not replace the roof? Or is he going to make the team play in Tampa at the Yankees practice stadium the next 2 years?
That's definitely not happening.
And Rick backs it up with Stu saw the Glazer bill and passed out. Then he remembered all the money he's saving not having to run the air conditioner at the Trop. First of all, Stu ain't paying a dime for repairs. That's going to be on the city.
I don't even know if it's smart to even set aside funds to fix it, to be honest with you. Because
Well,
I don't think it's
what
gonna
that's going to cost.
I don't know what that's gonna cost, but obviously Pinellas is already doing a lot and has a lot to clean up, clearly. And I mean,
they have a
there's
$1.6 billion bill coming their way for
Like-
Pinellas and St. Pete to build this new ridiculous stadium that they don't need, can't afford. and
I
is in
think
trouble
it's
with
a real possibility. As much as it would suck, like I think even for those like you who desperately want to get out of the Trop, this isn't the way we wanted it to end.
No,
This
of
happens
course
to be-
not. Of course not.
Like that place deserved a send off. So like if this is it for the Trop, it's sad. First of all, that it had to house that team this year, and second of all, that we did not get a chance to have a nice send off for everybody, and it goes because of the roof of all things.
Yeah. Yes.
That sucks. But what are the options out there? Like I know people have said like Dunedin for the Blue Jays, the Orlando
Too
World
small.
Wide World.
Too
like,
far.
I know they're too far. I just don't know what the best options are like in the Tampa Bay area.
I think the best option is to play at Steinbrenner. That's my opinion.
But can they do that though?
Yes, they can. I've checked with TSA. It just need an approval from the Yankees, and that would be a very bad PR movie. I know the Steinbrenner family previously said that they would not stand in the way of the Rays playing games there if they wanted to play games there. So I don't think
Okay.
Hal would have a problem with it, especially being a lifelong Tampa resident. If the Rays need a place to play, he's not going to stand in the way. That would be
Hell, it
that
makes
would
it
be
easier
real.
for their road games. Too.
And remember, the Yankees don't own that. The TSA owns that.
Okay, I didn't know
Tampa
that.
Sports
There you go.
Authority owns Legends or Steinbrenner Field. Yes. So the TSA runs it. They own it. But they would need an okay from the Yankees, and I don't think that would be a problem. That's a stadium that currently fits, I think, 12,000. They have luxury boxes. They have a beautiful right field tiki bar. They have cabanas out there, the Hard Rock cabanas. They could probably pump in bleachers along the left field line there, and probably bring it up to maybe 15 or maybe more. There's probably room for some temporary bleachers. I think you'd have outdoor games in Tampa, which I think would not be a horrible thing in April and May for sure. It's ready to go. It's a facility. Parking's not a problem. Egress in and out is not a problem, obviously, because of the Buck Stadium there. It keeps the team in Tampa Bay where the fans are. Okay. And by the way, this is not going to be a 1-year deal. This is going to be a 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now they could also do the same at Clearwater. That Philly stadium is fantastic. Has all the amenities you need. They could play in both. I think that's not a bad idea, although I think just logistically moving everything back and forth would suck. So they're probably going to have to pick one spot. And again, it's just in Tampa is more centrally located. I think it would be a great of all the options. I think that's the best one. And it's doable. I think that's why. Now I don't know, if it's just a matter of putting another fiberglass roof on there. I mean, I don't know what the cost on that. I have no idea. I don't know if the catwalks were damaged in any way. I think they were.
Yeah,
So,
and I thought about too, like I think
integrity
there's
of that?
got to be water damage too throughout the stadium, and I'm
tons,
thinking like
because it doesn't have drainage.
And I'm thinking too, like, the Rays, I know like the field was covered somewhat, like, but obviously they put a new field in, new turf and all that stuff last year. So like, there's just a lot of like logistical things that they would have to get fixed. Like, they don't have a lot of time necessarily to do that. They have some time, but again, I don't foresee that happening. I just don't.
And we haven't heard much from the Rays. I know.
No, and they said they got to assess everything, and I'm sure they have to, communicate with the mayor, and obviously he's got a lot going on his plate right now.
I think the question of building this stadium does come into play here. I think absolutely it does.
Yeah, can they accelerate that?
I don't think so. I think frankly, they need to reassess if they want to spend $1.6 billion on a baseball stadium when they have so many other issues in that state, in that city and county now? I mean, how much money is it going to take to rebuild the infrastructure along the beaches? I mean, a lot. There's bigger priority. The stormwater issue in the city is ongoing, and that's a $600 million, I understand, a $600 million project that has to be completed over the next 30 years or less, hopefully, for the people of Snell Isle and the places that flood all the time. Like, what are you going to do about that? There's got to be some remediation. There's got to be, and that costs money, costs a lot of money. I think if they had to redo that vote right now, do you think it would pass?
Well, I mean, it's nobody foresees. I know, like we live in Hurricane Central, but nobody, I guess foresees the.
Well, I'm not saying like from a hindsight 20.
No, I know, but
I'm just saying, from a reality standpoint, is there anybody on that commission right now that can sit there and say, "Oh yeah, we're good spending $1.6 billion for a stadium that is not going to bring the return on investment that you need in that community right now"? No way. No way.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know where the Trop falls on the totem pole of everything that has to be fixed in St. Pete, Pinellas right now. So
yeah, exactly. And who's going to pay for it? Stu's not paying for it.
I don't know. See, like on the surface, like just putting like a tarp over the stadium, like is like, because it's essentially what it was, I thought.
Yeah, that
doesn't seem like. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see, by the way, the people that went out there on Thursday and they were literally picking up pieces of the
and selling them on eBay,
and they were selling them for like thousands of dollars, and I'm like, man, I would have drove all the way over there if I could have made $1,000 off that freaking thing. Kidding me?
Yeah.
Why are you guys buying that? I don't know, but whatever.
I thought you'd be in line, my friend.
Are you kidding me? No, I'd be in line to sell it.
James says, JP, that's why I was going with 12 wins. The owners and staff truly care for their players. Other organizations not close to how the Bucks owners manage this team. That's why players want to stay here. Absolutely. 100% right. Culture, baby. He adds Mike Evans gutted it out for the team.
Man.
Who does that? Not CD, not Dak, but Mike Evans, truly a great person on top of a Hall of Fame player.
Isn't it great to have not one, but two star receivers who are not divas? And meanwhile, I got Calvin Ridley, who willingly chose to go play for the Tennessee Titans and played with Will Levis, complaining at the fact that he had 0 catches yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't have that issues here.
Nope, sure don't. Rick says, now go trade for Myles Garrett. Cleveland is trash. They could probably fleece them. Oh,
God, the Browns, man.
Myles Garrett. Yes, please. Can you imagine this defense with Myles Garrett?
That's the missing piece to the puzzle right now. It's really just a stud on the defensive end that can get home on his own
and play the run.
Yeah, and they're missing him. Yeah, and they could also use a linebacker. I wouldn't be opposed to going and getting one of those. And no, not get live 45.
No, hell no. Nathan says Luke Gedicke, his impact on the old line was bigger than one could have predicted. Passing game was better, and the run game was fantastic. The O-line played great. Bredesen was the weak link. Survived. I think you're right.
I will say, though, I feel like playing without Gedicke and having to work around Justin's school almost was great in hindsight now that we got to see it, because it taught Baker how to get the ball out quicker, and the ball came out even quick yesterday with Gedicke back. Like, I think that actually helped a lot in a way, because he felt like he had to get it out quicker with school there, and it's still happening, and the offense is thriving.
Yep. Nathan adds, Robert Hainsey does not have the talent of Barton, but he has the knowledge and understanding of the offense to rock. Great game, Hainsey. Yeah, he did play well. Cody Mock had his best game of the year. I thought I have to go back and look at the tape.
I didn't notice him, and I mean that in a good way.
Tristan Wirfs with the rumble and bumble down the field. Yeah.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I forgot about that.
It's not the end of the game, boys. It's
Chris Godwin threw that ball behind. My
Godwin started that shenanigans. What the hell are you doing?
Oh, I almost shut my TV off after that.
It's not the end of the game, guys. What are you doing at the end of the half?
I thought the implode was fully on then.
Can you imagine if they scoop and score that? Oh my gosh. What are we doing? But it was fun to watch.
That was wild. But it was fun to watch Tristan. I don't want my Hall of Fame left tackle though doing that crap
especially
just at
against
halftime.
The freaking Saints. They'll take out his knee. Eagles coach jawing at Browns fan after a 4-point win against a terrible team is laughable.
No, he was jawing at his own fans, Chris. They were chanting "Fire Sirianni," and then he started doing like this to his own fans, like a moron. And then in the post-game press conference, he brings his kids up as a shield to avoid answering tough questions.
I have no idea what this means, but somebody will think it's funny. Tuck and Buck sounds like JP's stage name. Reading books for kids at the local library. What? Shut up, Rick. Seems to me the players have a ton of respect for Todd Bowles, says our friend James. It is frustrating. I agree with Nick. If refs do their job and call a blatant face mask, Bucks wins last week. Refs yesterday should be ashamed. I agree. That was a terrible performance by the refs. What else we got here? Sterling Shepard was flagged for the gun finger taunt. That's what I thought it was. He did that.
He did the gun finger?
Yeah. So that's what gets you thrown out.
Vita Vea got freaking fined like $14K for
gun
that.
Finger.
The gun finger. So violent. So violent.
Yeah. That's going to make a difference. If we stop doing that, gun violence will go down.
Yeah, but you know what? If
doing this makes it worse.
But if I do 2 hip thrusts, I'm good. But if I do that third, I'm getting flagged.
Oh my God, so good. William Madden, JP for mayor of St. Pete. Oh, thank you.
Hell no. Moving on. Michael LaRue, still don't understand why Bulls would want to go up 12 points.
What was that?
You need to stay far away from government, my friend. Far away from government. There's a lot of people who
$1 billion on a freaking stadium that nobody's going to go to.
Michael LaRue, I still don't understand why Bulls would want to go up 12 points instead of 11. Being up only 10 points is worst case scenario. The risk wasn't worth the reward. I don't mind it because, I just hated the play call. And that's not Bulls. I hated the play call.
I mind it. It's dumb. It's dumb. 2-point conversion are not easy, or they're not supposed to be easy, right?
Yeah, but the play call though was terrible. It really
I know,
was.
but you don't go. You take 11. 11 forces them to go for 2. That's the point. It forces them to go for 2. You don't have to go for 2. It forces them to go for 2. An extra point is a 93%, 96% certainty. A 2-point conversion is like 48%.
I will say it is odd how Todd chooses to be aggressive with his calls at certain times, and other times he swallows it. So I don't know.
You make them score 2 touchdowns and an extra point to beat you.
Yeah. It didn't really matter because the Saints were dead at that point. But
I know. But again,
when you're playing closer games, it matters. I was laughing over here because Rick had another. This is good. Stu can string together all the AL East banners to cover the roof.
The wild card banners.
The wild card banners. Some people would say hopefully those wild card banners did suffer damage, so we don't have to look at them anymore.
Yes, the wild card. We can. Finally, they came in handy. Somebody got underneath it. Richard Francis, first time I've seen you in here. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Ultimately, I think the Rays will not have the new dome as a result of this hurricane. Blessing in disguise. Will they learn where the real fan base is, whether it's Tampa or Clearwater? I think let's just say this. I don't think the TSA and Stu Sternberg have the best relationship. I think Stu has treated them very poorly, has been very rude, has not bargained in good faith, all that stuff. And I think the people of the TSA are big enough to not penalize him and say, oh, now you need our help. No, they will welcome him with open arms. Now it has to be. Now, of course, Stu will come in going asking for everything.
It'll be for the
sake
of the
you
team.
Provide that. You provide. We're not paying for anything. Blah 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 blah.
It'll be for sake of the team and for the fans and all that more so than just for Stu.
Right. Exactly.
Bottom line, nobody in Pinellas, Tampa, Hillsborough, whatever, is going to turn the Rays away.
Stu, just sell the team. Just sell it. Sell it now, so you don't have to worry about it.
How did we end up here?
Just this, if anything, if this brings a new owner, well, I'm not going to say it was worth it, but it would be a nice residue of Uncle Milty.
See, I thought we were going to have a nice long break here without the Rays, and now we're talking about Stu in October. The Rays aren't even playing. Not what I wanted.
Get Max Crosby before the Lions do. Ooh.
Does Max Crosby fit Detroit like just to a T or what?
Yeah. History has shown Eagle fans always outlast the Eagles coaches. Sirianni's a dead man talking and walking a very long green mile. Very true. Michael LaRue says, do the Bucks do not have a clock management guy after last year's blunders? It's hard to imagine that they would not want to fix these type of mistakes. Michael, I just, I don't understand it. These are basic coaching maneuvers that everybody knows to do. At the end of the half, you got to get that extra possession. You got to do everything to get and then when you get the ball, you let the clock. What was that? Even when you get the ball, you're letting the clock run, and your offense is pretty much been having its way. And maybe you're like, okay, I don't want him to throw a fourth pick, but you're down. You got to trust your players.
Two of those picks weren't even on Baker.
I know, but you got to trust your players, and you got to say, all right, let's get our offense the ball with 1:20.
Yeah, and would you have to go realistically like 30 yards to get into McLaughlin's field goal range?
Yes.
And the guy's the most accurate kicker right now of all time, 50 plus.
It's a no-brainer.
But didn't matter.
It's awful. And then they going for 2. Gee, Jiminy Christmas. We could have had 52.
And they still put up a franchise record in yards.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. All right, we'll take another break. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from Todd Bowles on some of these questions. We'll hear from Baker Mayfield. We're going to get to the USF stuff. We're going to get to the UF stuff. We're going to get to more Lightning. All that coming your way. We only have 2 hours today, Nick. We only have 2 hours. But a big thanks to our sponsors, Italiano Insurance. Spoke with Jeff Italiano the other day or texted with him. He's had a rough go with his home. So prayers and thoughts and prayers out to him. Get everything right there. But he tells you all just to go forward. Even if you don't have a contractor or you don't have a check yet from your insurance company, you can go forward with your contractor, get all those things done, get your estimates, and move forward. Don't wait on your insurance company. And if you have any issues with your insurance company or have any questions about it, give them a call at Italiano, 813-877-7799. This is why you use Italiano Insurance, for their great customer service in times like this. They can really, really help you out. 813-877-7799. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at rogersparkgolf.net. That's rogersparkgolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. Hey, if you need some cash for repairs, got some old jewelry, watches hanging out in your closet there, take them into the Gold and Diamond Source. They'll pay you cash for your gold, your silver, your watches, all kinds of stuff, rings, cash money. Great way to help out if you need some cash in these times. The Gold and Diamond Source, and of course, if you're looking for a engagement ring, no better place than the Gold and Diamond Source. Great folks over there, and as we tell you all the time, they've been in business for 40 years. You have no idea what you're buying online. No idea. They say it's a real diamond. You don't know if it's a real diamond. You don't know that. So don't take any chances. Yeah, the prices look great for a reason. It's not a real diamond. So you want real, you don't want fake, you want the real diamond. So go to the Gold and Diamond Source, talk to the folks over there, get educated about it, and you can trust them. That's it. I mean, it's worry-free. The Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. And I know Julie and Steve are giving out things to help hurricane victims, giving money to different organizations, incredibly philanthropic as they always are. So support our local businesses, the restaurants, if you can, go out and support those, not necessarily the giant chains, even though our local workers work there too. I get it. But you know what we're talking about. Local businesses, the Cafe Paradiso, I believe they got power back. I'll have to double check with Paul and make sure that they're open. But I think they now have power back and you can go get a great Italian meal at Cafe Paradiso.
And we came back from break and I just saw this stat real quick. This is crazy to me. The Bucks are the first team since 1962 to have 300 plus passing yards and 275 plus rushing yards in a road game. Since 1962.
Yeah, I had some numbers on that.
Holy hell, man. The numbers coming out of this game are crazy.
Do you think the Saints just packed it in the fourth quarter?
I don't know, but like even Greg Allman put this out there because like that second quarter sucked. But keep in mind, for 54 minutes and 54 seconds in this football game out of 60 minutes, the Buccaneers outscored the Saints 51-7. They scored 20 points in a 5-minute, 6-second span. Outside of that, it was literally as thorough as a blowout as you can get.
The punt return, 2 tip balls for interceptions, so short fields. Yeah. And Thunderbird got burned on that one, but he also had a caused fumble. Nice hit on the sideline on Kamara.
Will the Bucks ever have a healthy secondary? Some are asking.
Well, Jamel Dean goes down, but damn, was he playing bad football? Maybe Thunderbird will be better. I don't know.
Zion is on pace to be an all-pro at this rate, if there's any justice in this world. Because, that pick he had, again, it's another thing I could shed a tear at watching a Buccaneers corner make the kind of plays he's making on the football right now. Yeah. It's just beautiful to watch. And again, Jason, like his hands are all over this team right now and how he's constructed this thing. It's great.
Benjamin Pierce is the new beat writer for the Lightning, young man. Welcome to the team, my friend. He's at morning skate today. Says they're working on some power play stuff. Power play 1, Kucherov, Point, Gensel, Hedman, and Radish. How'd you like the power play the other night?
They figured out a way to work around the fact that they don't have Stamkos over there, and they did score 2 goals on it. They said they didn't score 5 on 5. But Radish on the right side, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know about that.
Sorelli, Paul, Hagel, Moser, and Geeky on the power play 2. So JJ Moser's pointing the second power play unit. Okay, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's going to be an adjustment period here for sure.
Yeah,
it was good to see McDonough though back in a Lightning sweater, I have to say, and he got burned once pretty bad by Svechnikov, where the speed just kind of overwhelmed him there. But it's just great to see that guy back.
Though. He made so many plays.
Yeah,
just subtle plays that negated goals. He's so good. I just remember watching it just go, just a subtle poke check here and there, on 2-on-1. And it was like, God, he's so good. Yeah. So good.
You want to jump into some college football?
Well, you want to hit the rest of that Bucks down?
Or do you want to go Bucks down?
Yeah, let's just keep it. This is a monumental win, and then we'll have plenty of time for the other stuff. So let's just go through. Why don't you go ahead, set them up and run them?
Yeah, we'll go. We'll move over to Baker here. Him talking about the bounce back there after the second quarter, the deplorable second quarter that was, how they were able to come back, and him also rebounding from 3 turnovers.
Handling one thing at a time this week, among many other things. And there's going to be a lot of distractions, a lot of ups and downs, and you just got to handle it the right way. And that's how our team handled that second quarter. Obviously not doing the defense any favors by giving them short fields multiple times in a row, and holding them to a couple field goals. But just for us to come in at halftime and say, if we just handle our business, we're going to be just all right. And that's what we did. And that's the type of culture we've built through and through, and just a resilient group.
It's the word resilient right there again.
A lot of resiliency going on. And see how he drew the comparison to what the week that was and the microcosm that was the game.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
Here's him talking about the job that Sean Tucker did in this football game, who I think he probably get a game ball too, probably, for what he did.
Honestly, it's for guys like that to be able to step in and play like that. That's more than just the next man up mentality. That was a huge jump he just took today, and I'm really, really happy for him. But that's got a lot of competition in that room, and that's we got guys that can tote the rock, and when the offensive line's blocking like that, hats off to those guys. But yeah, especially late in the game when they know we're running the ball, they're loading the box up. There's going to be some guys that are unblocked. For them to make people miss and make those explosive plays was huge.
Yeah, he and Bucky both just putting a stamp on that, and that's much needed. If they have a run game, it's going to help the pass game. Obviously, if you at least, what do you defend? I mean, you're going to double Mike, okay. You're going to double Chris, okay. Well, what's left to go against the run? It's just they've got answers for everything, and that's what great offenses do. They're versatile. They can hit you in so many ways. So now, the exception, Cade had a great game last week, right? So he was not great. Cade Otten, he was not great in this game.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
Just a guy. He's just a guy.
Yeah. But he gets the job done when needed, when they're not covering him.
Yeah. when he's wide open.
Yeah. He gets the job done. That's all.
Yeah, he's just a guy. And then last one here from Bulls, the importance of finishing a game, which we saw they did not do against Atlanta. They certainly did it here.
Well, it says a lot about the growth of the team, the leadership of the team. Obviously, the guys accepting coaching and making adjustments in the second half and coming out understanding what they got to do. We didn't finish that game against Atlanta. We finished this one.
Can you say how?
Yeah, they did. That did. And that's, credit to the run game. That 4-minute offense comes in handy.
Yeah. You look at all the games they've won this year, they've won them all in different ways too. I mean, you could rely on your passing game. You can rely on your defense in a game like against Detroit. And then in this game, you can completely tote the rock, do whatever you want with it. And now the last 2 weeks, the run game coming alive, it's like, I'd have to go back and look real quick. Like, I think the Bucks all of a sudden have the 8th best rushing attack in all of football now after the last 2 weeks is the onslaught. So it's a very balanced offense all of a sudden.
Yeah. All right, let's transition over to college football. I went to the USF game, and let's not forget that they did not have power to their facilities. They had to move over to Orlando in the Marriott here and try and prepare as best they could. It was not necessarily the cushy confines that the Bucks got just for, financial sake. It takes a lot of money to do this stuff. And, USF lost a ton of money. I mean, this was supposed to be a Friday night. Think about this, a Friday night primetime ESPN game against Memphis, packed stadium, at least lower bowl. Everything going your way. Bring Memphis in here, put a hurting on them. And it turns out to be a weird COVID-like atmosphere at Camping World Stadium. No band, no cheerleaders, completely, at the other side of the field, no fans at all.
It's like a scrimmage.
There's 3,000 people. You could literally hear the coaches on both sides barking out plays. You could hear the players trash talking on the field. There was one point where Golesh went after, I think it was Naquan Wright, for stepping out of bounds twice when he didn't need to. And I know some USF fans, you could hear what he was saying. Okay, it was bad, but it was absolutely appropriate. I mean, if you're not going to hold your players accountable, then you're not going to have a football team. You can't let that stuff go on without a response from the coach. Was it too much? I don't know. I don't think so. No. I mean, a lot of people who've never played football or been on a team might think so, but you make mistakes like that when your offense is absolutely awful and you're just not even giving an effort and you don't want to get hit. That's not going to play well.
And it's a veteran player. It's a veteran player.
That was just pure give up. And you can't let that go unnoticed or unanswered.
It seems like from what I was at the UCF game, so I was kind of trying to keep an eye on this up in the press box, but it seemed like from what I was seeing from the updates that USF runs up tempo, obviously, and it was just not working, and they were giving their defense barely any time to get. The defense, you give up 21 points, you take
average possession time was 50 seconds per drive. 50
that's just
seconds per drive.
You're not going to win football games that way. You're not going to win football games that way.
The defense kept going out there and kicking ass.
Right.
They gave up 14 quick, but after that, I think on 9 possessions, they didn't score. The defense was lights out. They were bringing it. They were physical. The offense was 69 yards and 5 first downs in the first half. It was awful. They were dropping passes. They were running into each other. It was a clown show.
That's the disappointing part this year for USF is this offense has taken such a step back, and they have the only offense in the American that's worse than USF right now is Temple.
Yeah,
that's the alarming part right now. And Alex Golesh is an offensive guy. You've got to have your unit that you specialize in.
Top 30 offense in the nation last year,
right? And I don't. And by the way, I hate that Byron Brown's hurt, and you certainly missed his legs yesterday because you could not generate anything on the ground. Bryce Archie obviously is no threat to run. So you missed Byron Brown in the running game. But even before this game, before the injury to Byron Brown, I'm not going to act like he's been playing well this year. He doesn't seem like the same player he was last year. The whole offense just looks very disjointed right now. And I think that's where a lot of the criticisms are coming for Alex Golesh because, again, this is an offensive guru who did wonders last year with that offense. It's second worst in the American. The American's not great as a conference. We know that. And when you're hanging out around the Charlotte 49ers and the Temple Owls in offense, at some point, we got to sound the alarm bells here. And I think a lot of people around this program are doing that right now because you are going backwards and fast at the moment.
Yeah, they were 1 for 13 on third downs. A lot of those are third and longs. But it's just, it looked like they hadn't practiced all week. And listen, I hate to rip on them because
probably not the greatest week to have to go to a backup quarterback, for being honest.
No, there's a lot going against them. There's a ton going against them. These players are distracted. They're younger. Their families,
and
their
Memphis,
homes, their
Memphis
apartments.
has the second best defense in the conference too, so it's a bad matchup already.
Right.
So it is thing, but even against Tulane, you saw the offensive performance sucked. It's just a trend right now with this team.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how they get out of this. They're 2-4 now. They've lost 3 in a row. And I don't want to pile on at this particular time, obviously, because of the week that was. I want to see them turn it around, obviously.
Yeah,
But I don't.
the only good thing for them right now is the next game ahead is UAB. It's at home, and UAB stinks. Like
They're terrible.
they're dog
But they
water.
beat the crap out of USF last year.
They did, but I don't foresee that happening. I mean, the schedule is going to lighten up at the end. Like the last 3 games, Charlotte, Tulsa, and Rice. Like you want to think that you can go out there and win those games, and hopefully beat UAB, and then you're bowl eligible. You know, it's not exactly a step forward, but
Yeah, you got UAB at Florida Atlantic.
Navy's going to beat the brakes off this team. I'm sorry.
Navy's here November 9th. Yeah, at Charlotte, Tulsa, at Rice. Yeah, I mean, I think expectations got wacky. Expectations got wacky at USF. They just did.
Well, the way they played against Bama, it's like it's all about the follow-up. Right. And the follow-up for 2 consecutive years after those performances against Alabama have just not been good enough. They just haven't.
Yeah. So they're in a pickle. Hopefully they'll get some normalcy this week. Get back in the win column. That'll fix a lot of different stuff, and they can get to a bowl, get those extra practices, and keep moving forward. They've done a good job in recruiting, but this was a game that it could have been a great night for the organization, the program. Could have been so much, and it just wasn't. And that's not all their fault, right? It's not all their fault. So, but be resilient, come back, get this dub, and start ticking some off, and you still can salvage something here this season.
Yep.
It's not what people had hoped, but don't give up. Don't jump ship just yet. This stuff. So I've been trying to say for, even after last year, I'm like,
there's a building process here.
Process. Don't think we're going to the Big Ten. Calm down. Let's just get some dubs. You keep moving the ball forward. Don't, we're going to the playoff, blah, blah. Relax. It's going to take some time. And get your quarterback healthy. Get back to the ground game a little bit. The defense is coming along. The defense we thought was going to be the big problem.
Yeah, the defense seems to have fixed itself a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of a program that has no patience and will not relax, and I don't blame them, the Florida Gators. You can look at this in 2 ways, JP. On one hand, you're playing the number 8 team in the country, a rival in their place. We know it's a hostile environment. And you take that game to overtime, and you want to say, you know what, that's a step forward for us. But if you watch the game, the Florida Gators should have won that game with ease. Easily. And I hate to say it, but the guy who wears the headset on the sideline, wearing the polo that's buttoned up all the way to the top, Mr. Napier, is failing this roster. The Florida team has talent, but that coach is failing his talent. And I tell you right now, whenever they scored there with 29 seconds left, DJ Lagway makes an incredible throw. Incredible throw to DK.
Climbs the pocket, really buys time, and just what a dart.
A seed over the middle. A great route run by DK, who's starting to show himself to be the best player on that offense right now. You got to go for 2. What the hell do you have to lose at that point? Why do you want to go play in overtime against Tennessee on the road? Why?
You don't. You got to have a 2-point play, some kind of crazy play.
And he had a play drawn up, and then obviously Tennessee burned a timeout. But like, why are you going now? Why are you kicking a field goal? Like, draw something else up. I don't know, but why would you want to go play overtime like that after all the work you did to tie that game?
No, so much of it is about game flow, right? It's about game flow. It's about the moment. It's not about analytics. Analytics can't tell you, Tennessee's sphincter is about that big. I mean, you score right there. The air goes out of the place. You line up and you run your best 2-point play. It's not even a thought. That decision should have been made way before. We're going for 2. We're going for 2. Here's the play. This is what we're going to run. This is our best 2-point play. We're going to run it. If we get it, fantastic. If we don't, we played well.
Yeah.
Gave it a shot. We're not going to overtime. Hell no.
Well, let's listen to what Billy Napier had to say of that play. Let's see if his explanation made any sense to anybody.
We had the play that we felt good about, and then obviously they burned their time out. And I think we felt from the 3 there, We were playing pretty good on both sides of our team at that point in time, so we felt like let's go play overtime and let's go give our guys a chance to play some more plays. Thought defensively we kept ourselves in it. Wasn't quite ready to do that at that point in time.
How can you hear that and feel inspired by the direction of things under his leadership? How?
Just his delivery, man.
And what happened? Again, I'm going to bring it back up. Scared money don't make money, Billy.
That's right.
What happened? What happened to that? I mean, you got errors earlier in the game. We got 12 men on the field.
Cost you a field goal.
Cost you a field goal.
Again, you can't line up your special teams guy, and you can't line up at 3 points. Would that have come in handy at the end of the game?
That's what I'm saying. It's like that's what's frustrating about it. And I'm not even. Listen, I don't have any. I have no fan affiliation to the Florida Gators whatsoever. But I genuinely want the best for all the programs in the state of Florida because I think it's good for college football. And I hate the fact that we're sitting here through 7 weeks of college football and all the Florida programs outside of Miami absolutely suck. And I'm tired of this. It should not be happening. So I want Florida to pick this up. And you had a chance right there to get a big win and would obviously take some of the hot seat talk a little bit away from Billy Napier. But all he did was fuel that fire even more. And it's deserved. It's deserved. There's talent on this roster. Your defense the last 2 weeks has performed so well.
You'd be 2-1 in conference, by the way, if you get that dub. With Kentucky coming up at home.
Yeah, very winnable game.
Georgia and Jacksonville.
And Georgia's got some things they got to clean up.
They do. At Texas. By the way, did you see Kirby Smart shove the quarterback, the Mississippi State quarterback?
Yeah, you think some of the issues around the off-the-field stuff doesn't start at the top? There you go.
I mean, how does that?
How's that not a penalty? I don't know.
Penalty is suspension. What are we doing? That was weird. And you're at Texas. Yikes. Yeah. Then you got LSU at home. Okay.
LSU can be flaky sometimes.
Yeah. You got Ole Miss at home.
They're flaky.
Then you're at FSU.
You're winning that game. I don't even think that's going to be a game.
Yeah. I mean, the way Florida's, they found some defense. I don't know. I got some hope in Brock Glenn. So, maybe we play a little bit better. We'll see.
And what sucks too, the breaking news that came out the last 20 minutes, Graham Mertz is out for the season with the knee injury. And I hate this for this. I hate this for him so much because let me tell you, Graham Mertz came into Florida last year. Expectations were really low. He really overperformed. And even this year with all the noise with Lagway and all that stuff, the way after the Miami game went, the way he responded since then, he's been playing really good football.
Fantastic football.
And the way that he gets hurt is so unfortunate. It's such a freak accident that didn't even involve during the play.
Caught in the turf?
Yeah, like it was after he threw the touchdown pass to make it 10-0.
Did he is it an ACL?
Oh, we don't know. They're calling it a knee injury, and he's out for the year. But I think we can all read between the lines there that it's something serious, and that's the end for his college career. Yeah, that's the end for his college career. But I think Gator fans are definitely appreciating him today because bad situation around him. I thought he played well, but guess what? It's the DJ Lagway show now, and there's going to be some good. There's going to be some bad. He got in there and immediately threw a really bad pick, but the way he responded after that, I thought was really impressive. Just maybe let down by some things out of his control, but this is going to be a big test for him now with that schedule. He's going to play some really good teams, but we all wanted to see Lagway play. You're going to see a lot of it now.
By the way, I forgot to on the USF stuff. Did you had an Alex Golesh bite? You want to run that, or was it worth it, or do we want to do that?
We could skip it because he spoke. It was him rambling for 3 minutes, but he basically said that what he saw on the field looked like a disjointed offensive effort, and he took the blame for that. Could not run the ball. What else is he going to say? I think we all saw it. He still has a lot of confidence in Bryce Archie, obviously, but they need Byron Brown back bad. Yeah, and he needs to play better when he gets in there.
Yeah, especially on throwing the football. All right, that brings us to your team.
Oh,
got a new quarterback. You got a new quarterback, right?
How about? Yeah. They so I got tipped off on this before the game that it wasn't going to be Jakari Brown, the Miami transfer starting. It was going to be EJ Colson, who, for those who don't follow recruiting very well, was the quarterback, true freshman. He's 17 years old, JP. He should be a high school senior, but he reclassified. He's the second youngest quarterback, I think, to start a game in college football history. He got a couple drives. They fumbled on both of them, so they were not his fault. And then they go to Jakari Brown, and Jakari Brown played pretty well. He accounted for 301 yards of offense. They just went to him. But this UCF offense is just a disaster. 13 points for the second consecutive week. And it sucks because the defense is now starting to figure itself out over the last 2 weeks against Florida and Cincinnati. And Cincinnati, by the way, had the number one offense in the Big 12 going into this game, and they held them to 19 points. But you score 13 points, you don't win games. And Gus Malzahn I'll tell you, UCF fans are at a crossroads with Gus Malzahn right now because everything in year 2 is just trending down. The offense sucks. It sucks, JP. It's bad. And I don't know if they can turn it around. Even with the new quarterback, I don't know how much better it's going to get because the schedule coming up, they got to play Iowa State at Iowa State this week. And then they come home to play.
Company going to get you.
And then they come home to play BYU, who's as hot as any team in the country.
Yeah.
Like you're staring at a 5-game losing streak for the second straight year.
I'm not as close to it as you are, but I mean, changing coaches is not necessarily.
No, he's not going anywhere. He has a $12 million buyout. UCF can't afford it. They have so much momentum off the field, number 1 recruiting class in the conference.
They need to pull it together.
They got to pull it together, but eventually you got to do something on the field. And I'm hoping Jakari Brown was still a big upgrade over KJ Jefferson. You whiffed in the portal on him. I'm glad he pulled the plug on it. Let's not ride this out. We've seen enough. But they're starting to play some young guys now. Some freshmen are starting to get in there, and they're actually playing pretty well. So I think that's what this season's about now is the development for next year.
Yeah, for FSU as well. Normally we have Pat Burnham on Mondays. I told him we'll do Thursdays this week as they get ready to go to Duke, who they've never lost to.
Yeah. And by the way,
don't come home without a win, and do not come home with. There's a big controversy now about whether this should be a sod game. Since FSU is probably going to be an underdog in this game. Everybody's like, no, we're not burying Wallace Wade Stadium sod in that sod cemetery. And I'm like, you're right, you're not.
I do have some.
Do not sully the sod cemetery with Wallace Wade Stadium.
Yeah,
grass.
I do have some news for you though that you might like in terms of the youth movement that everybody wants to see. The depth chart came out earlier, and Andre Otto was listed as the starter at left guard, and Jalen Early is listed as the starter at right guard. So
wow,
Keandre Jones and TJ Ferguson have both been relegated to the bench on the depth chart.
Good. And is Maurice Smith still the center?
He is.
Oh God. Still, I mean, you're a 5th-year senior and you're still hiking the ball over the quarterback's head in crucial situations. Jeez, oh Pete. Yeah, but Brock Glenn gives you some hope. He gives you some hope.
Wasn't it great, though, to have a week off from not seeing Florida State play football, though?
It was. And hopefully they evidently, who was it? Was it one or two of the players went to Turks and Caicos for the off week and was posting.
Oh, cool.
And people lost their minds. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
and they get paid now, and what are you going to do? Sit around in town and see when you got $700,000 in the bank? No, you're going to Turks and Caicos, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I would say though the hardest thing right now for Florida State.
You don't have to put it on your Instagram.
I would say right now the worst thing for Florida State. Forget the stuff that's happening on the field. The season's lost. We know that. But the off the field, JP, it's starting to get bad. They're losing recruits left and right. Texas has taken all their players. So, I mean, look at the Texas #1 team in the nation. Do you want to go play for them or you want to play for Florida State right now? It's not that hard. Florida State has 11 commits in this class, one of the smallest classes in the country. And as we stand right now, they're like outside the top 30 in recruiting classes. It's just not going well.
Well, there's a long way to go. And there's always the transfer portal.
Yeah, you're staring at that again. They're going to have to hit the portal hard again.
It is what it is. And listen, that's why, so many missteps by Mike Norvell this year, but you win or lose in the portal. And he's done a great job the first 2 years. This year was a monstrous whiff. So he's learned. I think, if you're going to be an elite program, you got a high school recruit. And so now they got to He's got to clean house in terms of his staff and set it up like a real college program that's going to recruit the state of Florida. Go get the people that recruit the state of Florida, pay them well, and start transforming yourself from a portal school to a high school recruiting school. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. We'll see. Do we need to hit another break here?
I think we're okay. We got about 10 minutes here to go. So,
all right. Our thanks to all of our great sponsors, by the way, the Geddes Gordon Group in South Tampa there for real estate. Obviously, there's going to be some change in the market. No question about it. With all these hurricanes, there's probably some people that are like, okay, maybe I don't want to live on the water anymore. Probably some more inventory coming in. So, great time. Interest rates are coming down. Call Jane Geddes at the Geddes Gordon Group. And if you want to get back in the real estate game, now is a good time to do it. I don't know if Jane's got time right now because she's dealing with stuff at her own home, but they'll get you taken care of. It's GettysGordonGroup.com. Go to their website and they'll be back in business soon. Extravaganza Productions, thanks to Paul Thomason and the group over there. If you have a big event coming up, make sure you contact them, or a small event. If you need the professionals to produce it for you, they'll do it. And of course, Third Generation Plumbing and AC. If you need a tech to come out there and replace your AC, who better than Third Generation Plumbing? They've got 0% interest over 60 months. So it won't cost you big upfront money. And of course, you're going to get an honest group that'll do an honest job. It's a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with the local companies that have been around a long, long time. And that's Third Generation Plumbing and AC. Contact them through their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Please tell them JP sent you. All right. What else did we want to get to? Oh, around the NFL. Did we mention this? The Lions, I have a very strange suspicion that we're going to be facing the Lions again in the playoffs. And hopefully with that win there, that'll be the tiebreaker, and then it'll be a home game for the Bucs. But they lose Aiden Hutchinson, and I don't think we need to tell Bucs fans what a weapon he is, to a gruesome broken leg. Like, ooh, wow, like a bad one. So that's a big blow to the Lions right there. And does that affect? I mean, by the way, did they hand it to the freaking Cowboys or what? Did you see Jarrah after the game?
Oh,
Jarrah?
man. Yeah. And he acted like he said, this was surprising. And it's like, it's not surprising. The last 4 home games for the Cowboys, they've given up the most points in a 4-game stretch in NFL history for home games. Like they are never in front at home. This is what they are. They're defensively, they're beat up. So like you give them a pass a little bit defensively, but offensively, they show no willingness to even try to run the football.
Right.
Their offensive line doesn't protect the way they used to. CeeDee Lamb, it's like if you just take care of him, is there anybody else that scares you on their offense? No. And Dak was pretty inefficient yesterday, which is becoming a trend this year after he got paid. So Cowboys are in a bad spot. They're not a good football team. And their schedule coming up is a big one. Like they got to play like Atlanta, Philly, 2 other playoff teams potentially. So like I think it's going to get worse for Dallas.
Poor them, and maybe they'll be done by the time we play them, December 22nd.
Yeah, that game doesn't look too scary anymore.
Catch up on baseball. The Dodgers put it on the Mets last night. What was the final? It was 9-0 the last I looked. I hope that's
something around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're all sort of, pulling for the Mets here because they seem to be, I think everybody that's not a Dodgers or Yankees fan is just doing everything they can to avoid that being the World Series matchup. Because we know the MLB is dreaming about that so much right now. And I think the Yankees are going to have their hands full with the Cleveland Guardians. I really do.
Too.
I think that's going to be a tough series for them because the only guy who's hitting in that Yankees lineup right now, and it's funny, is Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is their savior at the moment. He single-handedly got them to the ALCS. So that kicks off tonight. But the Dodgers are a wagon right now.
They'd probably need Jones to show up at some point. I mean, Judge to show up at some point if they're going to.
It's a thing. Aaron Judge in the postseason is a thing right now. It's not great.
We got Buffalo and the Jets tonight. Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers tonight, and they're the new look Jets. Doesn't it? Does this feel like a Jets debacle to you tonight? Although Buffalo's been weird up and down.
Buffalo last week without Khalil Shakir looked really, and that should not, like, I love Khalil Shakir as a player, but you take him out of the lineup, the offense should not look as disjointed as it did last week, and he's questionable to play tonight, it looks like. The Jets, we know, have a good defense, but the Jets offensively just don't inspire any confidence. And Nathaniel Hackett, it took 5 games for him to get his play calling duties taken away. Todd Downing's going in, and Todd Downing's been an OC. He's never been a good OC. So I think the Jets are just what they are right now.
I think you're right. What else? Anything else that we missed today? Some other stuff that happened over the weekend. Did you see the SpaceX rocket booster come back to Earth?
I did not.
Did you not see this video?
No.
Oh my God. Elon Musk. I mean, that dude. Yeah. So they had, the Starlink 5 went up, which is like the biggest rocket ever. And then the big booster comes back to Earth. They usually been like landing them on these platforms. This time they bring it back because they need it's so big. They need a tower to clutch, and it comes back and it's got like these big, waiting arms, but it comes down and it sits like on the platform, and then it's just like collected by the arms. I mean, it's unbelievable to see. It looks like something out of science fiction. Like, that can't be real, but it's real. And evidently there was a sighting of a meteor or a bunch of meteors that hit the ground or came through the skies last night in the Washington, D.C., Raleigh, North Carolina area.
Can we chill with can we chill with nature doing its thing right now? Can
What
we
is
chill?
going on?
Can we just chill? Please.
Like, I'm looking at my feed and I'm like, is this stuff real? Like, can this be real? Like every day it's something else.
I mean, hell, not to throw more concern out there, but we have another system out in the Atlantic again. And when I hear a meteorologist like Paul Delgado, who is as good as it gets in that profession, saying that this is like unexpected and we don't see things like this, like, I almost give up hope for the world at the moment, because it's like they can't make sense of it.
Going on.
They can't make sense of it. And we might we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Obviously, we got a lot to rebuild, but it's just, can we just catch a break? Can we, the weather feels nice outside finally. I hate that we had to get a hurricane to have to get it. Like, we should be enjoying fall. There's not a cloud in the sky.
Beautiful.
But there's just so much going around us right now that's in disarray.
All right, so the Lightning are back on the ice this morning at Amalie Arena. I will be there tonight for our final rehearsal for production. I don't know what kind of bells and whistles we're going to have to throw at you. I'll have more information for you on tomorrow's show. But the home opener is tomorrow night. It's on. The show will go on, whatever we got and whatever we're working with. But the Lightning will certainly be on the ice. Should be a great night. Tickets, $25 upper level, $75 lower level. If you're a first responder, I believe there's something on the website for you as well to get tickets. So go check that out. Huge thanks to Jeffrey Vinnick and the entire Lightning organization, once again giving back to the city, as of course the Bucks have as well, some degree the Rays. But man, what a week, couple weeks it's been. Lord, thanks for the Buccaneers win over the Saints. The Lightning win on Friday night. Let's get these college teams going and finish this season strong. And if you're dealing with stuff, folks, remember, in a couple of weeks, it'll all be a distant memory. And I know it sucks right now, but all pull together, help each other out. Don't hinder each other. Help each other out. If your first instinct is to yell or honk your horn, take a deep breath, count to 5, and just try to find some kindness for your neighbor and help out any way you can. That's how we're going to get through this. So anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate all of you guys. Thanks to all our sponsors. We will be, great job, Nick. Thank you for posting today. I know you dealt with a lot of stuff as well. Appreciate you. Thanks, guys. We will be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. Tim Ham will be joining me tomorrow. So we'll see you then.